going on, Jerome's? It seems like it was 2 months ago that the Minnesota Vikings beat up on the New England Patriots on Thanksgiving evening, but the rest of the NFL happened on Sunday. It was kind of nice, just sitting around watching games super casually, no emotional investment whatsoever. So we have 13, Baker's dozen. I don't know what 13 is. There we go. Things that we learned week 12, not Viking related. Number one, the Bills got their groove back. So Detroit gave them a game. And respect to that, Dan Campbell has the Lions playing well, trying to extend that winning streak. But the Bills, they got it done. Went back to the bread and butter. It was Josh Allen, it was Stephon Diggs, and it was everyone else, man. So 8-3, and even though the sort of behind the eight ball in the AFC East because they already lost to the Dolphins and the Jets, but I think the Bills will be super dangerous. Like, no one wants to face them as a wild card opening rounds. Just imagine, like, you win your division and then you get the Bills. It's going to be rough, man. Next up, thing number 2 that we learned, the Cowboys are legit. Now, of course, as a Vikings fan, sort of knew that based on what the hell happened week 11, allegedly. But the Cowboys came in and they handled their business against the Giants. The Giants are a good football team, maybe a little bit imperfect, especially at the quarterback position. But Dallas basically held on the entire game, and it really was not, well, I wouldn't say not competitive, but it was pretty clear who the better team was. CeeDee Lamb is an absolute dude, and, well, TBD if they get OBJ. I mean, that's certainly up in the air, pardon the pun. But the Cowboys are now 8-3, and they're on the heels of the Eagles. Even though the Eagles already have a win over them, the Philly still has to come to Cowboys Stadium, JEROME World, and it could get dicey. Could get very interesting down the stretch. And also for the Giants, Thank you. So hitting the backdoor cover of +10 as well as hitting the over. Woo! That was a fantastic garbage time touchdown. Mattered for a lot of people. Next up, thing number 3 that we learned in week 12, Mike White is a starting quarterback. So Zach Wilson benched. He's got the yips, not taking ownership of situation, etc. And the Jets exploded against the crooked Chicago Bears. Even though, yes, Jets were at home, the Bears defense ain't what it used to be. But 315 and 3 touchdowns, and setting season highs for points, setting season highs for yards, and pairing this offense wide open with the Jets defense that Rob Salah has put together. I mean, they could be very sporty, and the Vikings are 3-point favorites. I don't know if that's going to last until kickoff. I could see that getting bet down. Maybe you'll get the Vikings -2.5 if you're patient this week. But I mean, Mike White. He's big. He's 6'5". He's 220. He's got a solid arm. He throws with anticipation. He doesn't really get rattled with pressure. So even though we've seen this before, the flash in the pan and then all of a sudden a bunch of garbage performances, but I think that he has a shot. I think he has a shot to stick, man. Next up, thing that we learned, number 4. Sorry, I get my videos mixed up. The commies are real. Taylor Heineke does it again, man. So you're at home when they unveiled that Sean Taylor Memorial statue, which is just a mannequin. How can the Commanders screw that up? I don't get it. Also, I spelled commies wrong. There you go. Caps lock. All right. So the Falcons, are battling for the NFC South, but they just couldn't get it done. And Heineke clutch plays towards the end again. I mean, they've won 5 out of 6 games that Heineke has started. Ask him what the 1 loss is, though. But he's been impressive. The defense is getting legit. Chase Young is probably going to be back next week. So, I mean, Washington, could all 3 wild cards come out of the NFC East? It's possible with the Giants, Cowboys, and Washington. Who knows? Next up, thing we learned, number 5. Again, no one wants to win the NFC South. No, literally no one wants to win. Where the Bucks, they had one of the roughest games of the year. The Falcons couldn't get it done. And the Browns, the Browns were just hanging around. They stayed in there. Nick Chubb got himself a score, and they took advantage of some Buccaneers miscues. So, I mean, I don't, Cleveland's dead and gone, but they're showing some fight. We'll see what happens when Deshaun Watson gets back. But for the Bucks, I mean, they're starting to get healthy too. I mean, even though Tristan Wirfs got dinged up, I don't see this working out. I don't know if they're going to hold on to the division, even though no one else wants to win it, it seems like. But could this be a spot where if you're a wild card, like if you're Dallas, if you're the Giants, or if you're whoever, you obviously want to face the Bucks. All right, so we'll see. Next up, thing we learned, number 6, nailed it. Tua should be in the MVP race. And even though he missed a handful of games in the middle of the season, he's just been lights out. Pardon the pun, since then. But 299 and a touchdown. And they built up that huge lead, and then they let Houston come back with a backdoor cover. Woo. Kind of great. Oh, actually, no, it was close. It was 14, wasn't it? Yeah, but, I mean, Tua's dialed in. Him and Mike McDaniel got something special going. Tyreek is obviously going off, as well as Jalen Waddle. Also, my name Jeff Wilson, toting the rock, just coming over from San Francisco, sliding right into his old OC's offense. I love it, man. But Tua, I mean, Tua's been absolutely dynamite in games that he started and finished, man. Next up, thing we learned, number 7, the Bengals are back. And even without Joe Mixon, even without Jamar Chase, going into Tennessee and beating a very good Titans team, it's pretty impressive. I mean, the Titans defense is legit. Derrick Henry is on point. I don't trust Tannehill anymore, really. But I mean, this is a tough-fought, slogging game, but since he got it done. And, they've won 3 games in a row ever since getting de-pantsed on Monday night by the Browns. And I do think that it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting down to the wire what's going to happen with the Bengals and the Ravens atop of the AFC North. Next up, thing we learned, number 8, Broncos need to start over. Good golly, Miss Molly. I mean, just when you think it couldn't get any worse in Denver, like you got Denver defensive players yelling at Russ. It's like, hey, stop yelling, let's ride. But how can you have better offensive output when you had Drew Lock last year? You gave up 2 1s, 2 2s, and a 5th for Russ, and you get 10 points. And the touchdown was in garbage time. I mean, Carolina handled you. Sam Darnold and the Panthers handled you. It's just, I could see Hackett being fired before the end of the season. You just got to blow this thing up. I mean, maybe someone will want to trade for Russ's contract. I don't know if anyone will, but you have to consider it because this is just a dead end right now. Next up, number 9, Duval. All right, so this is a fantastic game, and thought that the Ravens' touchdown at the end was going to win it, but too much time for Trevor Lawrence, where there's been a lot of questions about the former number 1 pick, where it's like, is he truly a franchise guy? This drive is going to go on the mantelpiece. Just pure huevos, no timeouts, marching all the way down, hitting Marvin Jones in the end zone, and then going for the 2-point conversion and getting it. I love it. I love it. Happy for the people. Duval Lawrence with 321 and 3 touchdowns. This was his statement game. This is his coming out party, where I think that now this could be the inflection point where Trevor Lawrence, is he a bust? Is he whatever? But now I think that he could be that dude. Next up, thing number 10 that we learned. Chargers give you just enough hope, don't they? I mean, they truly are the AFC Vikings. But going for 2, going for the win, it's very en vogue right now in Arizona, but getting done 25-24. Herbert, 3 touchdowns. And even though they've been ravaged by injuries, probably the most injury-ravaged team in the league, they're just dragging along, getting it done, and probably going to end up a wild card. And if they get healthy enough towards the end of the season and dialed in, I mean, maybe there's a chance. I mean, there's been a lot of talk that, the Chargers would be one of the jobs that Sean Payton would come out of retirement for, but that's saying that Brandon Staley is going to be a 2 and done. I don't necessarily see that, but we'll see. But, I mean, Herbert's still my guy, man. Love me some Justin Herbert. Next up, thing we learned, number 11. KC sort of struggled against the Rams. Now, the final score doesn't tell the full story because, 26-10, a little bit of an ass whooping. Kansas City covers the 13.5 points, but Mahomes, casual 320, but he threw an end zone interception, and 4 of their drives stalled and ended in field goals. Now, I know that's picking nits. I still think that the Chiefs are probably the team to beat in the AFC, even though, yes, the Bills came into Arrowhead and beat them, but I still think that maybe we're just so used to and spoiled by how high-powered this Chiefs offense is. So when they settle for field goals or when they have turnovers, you're just like, I don't know if they got any more. I mean, they won by 16 at home, but I don't know if they got any more. But the Rams, this is a lost season. They should honestly find ways to put Aaron Donald on IR, Jalen Ramsey, save him up for next year. I mean, they're probably going to shut Stafford down with that neck injury and concussion. Also, I want to see what Bryce Perkins has. Bryce Perkins, Pride of Virginia, a guy that I like a lot. So, I mean, just see what he's got. See what he's got for the rest of the year. Next up, thing number 12 that we learned, casual Niners shutout. So the Niners are the darling of a lot of the media pundits in the NFC. That defense is so freaking good, and they shut down New Orleans. Andy Dalton and Kamara had 0 shot all freaking day. And the Niners, I mean, they do enough on offense, and it's kind of weird that they're splitting carries between McCaffrey and Mitchell, but trying to keep McCaffrey healthy, I guess. And Garoppolo had himself a touchdown, didn't make many mistakes, had himself a workmanlike game again. So they're going to be tough. I guess we'll see what happens with them and the Seahawks in the NFC West, but I don't think you want to face San Francisco in the playoffs. I think that they're built for the postseason. You know, Shanahan's been to a couple Super Bowls, one with the Falcons, one with the Niners. It didn't work out either time, but I mean, this is going to be a tough team. Ooh, the magic vet inning. Look at that. So now, yes, number 13, I think we all know. The greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers are still garbaggio. So thanks. The one time that we needed you to actually do something, not so much. And also Rodgers left with an oblique injury. Jordan Love coming in, throwing a touchdown. So is that it for Rodgers in Green Bay? I guess we'll see. But I don't know. Like, the Packers gave the Eagles a game for a while. They're even covering, the plus 6.5, but sort of is what it is. But virtually we took Philly minus 6.5. No big deal. But hopefully the Eagles will slip up a time or two the rest of the schedule, which looks kind of tough. But we shall see. But that's it. That's Baker's Dozen, 13 things we learned about Week 12. Let us know your thoughts about our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work, put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.